Yesterday, someone posted a question about their legs that were falling asleep and what they should do about it, how much they should tolerate it, bear with it in Zazen, and when to move. We get questions like that about, for example, people whose backs might start hurting, or sometimes there are mosquitoes that come. How much do you just put up with it? And when do you do something? Daimon gave a wonderful answer to the fellow yesterday that really resonates with one of the central themes here in Tree Leaf Sangha and inspired today's talk. As a matter of fact, the first talk I ever gave back, I think it was 2007, was on this same theme. It's called Acceptance Without Acceptance. And one of the things that you guys have to accept is I keep babbling on about the same stuff week after week. But please accept that. The Japanese have a wonderful word for acceptance. It's gaman suru, which means kind of bear with it, put up with it. But in Zazen, when do we just bear with it? And when do we try to fix it? And when do we accept it? And when don't we accept things? Now, what I'm going to tell you, though, is not just about Zazen. It's actually a wonderful way to live all your life, everything, all your difficulties, and even real problems in life. And maybe it's even a way to fix the world with the same attitude too. So it's big stuff, but we begin right here in Zazen. So here's what I recommend to you. Zazen is, I like to say, radical equanimity. We accept everything radically when we're sitting. There is truly nothing that's not complete. We sit with this attitude, even if we got to convince ourselves a little and kind of just go on trust sometimes, but we sit with the feeling that Zazen is a complete act. Zazen is the one thing to do. There's nothing else left undone in the universe while you're sitting Zazen. You sit with radical equanimity. All things are just what they are. This is the radical acceptance of Zazen. But then maybe your legs start hurting or the mosquitoes come. Maybe something even more. When do you accept these things and when don't you? And when do you try to fix them and when don't you? Well, here's what I say. I can't tell you exactly when, but there is a point where you try to fix stuff. And there is a point where you just bear with it. But all through, please have radical acceptance. Let me give you an example. Let's say your legs do start hurting during Zazen. Do as you can to accept it for a while. When you fixate on it and obsess about it, you make it worse. You'd be surprised the power of mind over matter to accept with what you think we cannot accept with. I had a friend who was in a motorcycle accident, ended up in a wheelchair. He told me that it was rough, the transition during the first year, but he's kind of happier than he was before. Go figure that. He's not only accepted his situation, he's flourishing in it. Found a new meaning in life. We can accept much more than we know we can accept. And when you stop wallowing, fixating, sometimes the problem just becomes another object in the room, like the chair in the corner. It's there, maybe your pain, maybe your other difficulties, but somehow they're not as large. They're not right before your eyes, looming. They're just there. We have barn swallows that are bound to come into this Zendo to try to make a nest. They come every year. I might let them fly around a bit today, around our heads, or I might try to shut the door. There does come a point when you should try to do something. If the mosquito comes, you might just let it. The Dalai Lama once said he just likes to let the mosquito take some blood if he's in a good, tolerant mood. And after the third request, he says, "Mosquito, please go away," in his heart. If the mosquito doesn't go, he swats it away. When is that point when you try to do something? I can't tell you. You have to know and make your own decision. If it's just a mosquito, you can accept it. If it's 100 mosquitoes or a rattlesnake, I advise you to take action. If it's just an aching leg and you can sit there and accept it, I would work with that practice, accepting in Zazen. Let the pain just be. But if it really becomes a lot, well, move your legs, change your posture. It's okay. But then don't go to the other extreme. Don't wallow. Don't fall into it. Don't change your posture every 10 seconds. Don't just fixate on it. Don't make it the center of your life. Don't become a prisoner of your situation. Fix it a little and let it go again. I once was sitting at Sojiji Head Temple at a session with both lay people and priests in this building that's about 150 years old, very unsturdy, with a huge, heavy roof over our heads, and big earthquake came right in the middle of Zazen. I was the only foreigner there. I turned around to look. I was ready to head for the door, and I noticed I was the only one even moving, even as the roof is swaying over our heads. I decided to keep sitting there, and the earthquakes soon passed without incident. But afterwards, I asked one of the members, I said, "Did you feel that earthquake?" He said, "Oh, yes, we felt it." I said, "Well, why didn't anyone move?" And he said, "We were all ready to die in Zazen." I said, "Oh, you guys are strong." They had so much acceptance, they were willing to die in Zazen. If the roof came down, the roof came down. Well, I tell you, maybe I appreciate that too, but a little more shaking, I would have been out that door with a zafu on top of my head. I tell you that. There's a point where you try to do something and a point when you accept. If in the middle of Zazen the house catches on fire, please put the fire out and then resume Zazen on the ashes of your house. Okay? If you're having a heart attack, call the ambulance. Do Zazen in the ambulance as they're taking you to the hospital. There does come a point when you take action. I cannot tell you exactly what that is. In all your problems in life. But here's the difference from Zazen and your normal way. What I'm saying is this. Accept more than you think you can accept. Really accept things. The mosquito, the problems in your life, the situations in this world, accept them. But when you can fix them, lightly fix them. Lightly fix them. And when you can't, when you get those problems that you cannot fix, then go back to true radical acceptance again. The doctor says you have 5 hours to live. Well, live them with radical acceptance. That's what I say to you. But here's the thing, too. This is the weird part. People think that you can either accept you can either accept or not accept. Zen people, we're different. We can accept and accept radically, and we can accept even as we don't accept very much at all. Huh? We can accept and not accept at once? How does that work? It's as if your heart has two chambers. One is filled with radical acceptance of all things, and the other one does not accept things, and you work to fix them. There are problems in this world, let's say global warming. There are problems in your life, let's say relatives or work situations or family situations that are causing you difficulties. You don't accept that. You don't accept that your son is in trouble. You don't accept that this world is in trouble. You do what you can to fix it. You may succeed, you may not, but you do what you can to fix it. However, all through, except two. Accept what you accept and accept what you don't accept. Now, I'm not saying accept your non-acceptance. I'm saying truly accept the situation, accept the conditions, accept what life is handing you, even as in the other part of your heart, you do not, and work to fix it. Another friend in rehabilitation after a stroke told me that he is fighting to get his legs back, fighting to learn to walk again, because he really needs a little anger in his heart to get him up every day into rehab. It's painful. Get up there, learn to walk again. And part of him is angry about this, and he's fighting. He's going to beat this. And the other part of him is completely at peace and doesn't resist at all and doesn't demand any change. Part of him is fighting and is demanding change, and part of him is not fighting and not demanding a darn thing. This is the wisdom of Zen practice. All at once. So I'm coining a new word today. I used to say acceptance without acceptance, but here it is. Fixceptance. There's a time when we just do acceptance. There's a time when we have this acceptance and non-acceptance at once and do our best to fixcept it. Now let us please sit zazen in radical fixceptance. Let's sit.